Hello, in the video. Today we're going to take a look at the top 10 Pokemon that I want to get buffed in the next season of Battle League, which we most likely going to get the news in a few days. As we see here already a trailer for the new season of in general Pokemon Go, but the Go Battle League season is usually themed for this. As we see here, a Season of Light, which is going to be available from the 1st of September. Very cool trailer here. They spoiler for Pokemon that are going to be introduced into this season in general. Like if you don't see them on your own, we're going to take a look at them tomorrow and how good they are in PvP. Spoiler alert, one of them needs a buff for one fast move, but yeah, we're going to take a look now at the Pokemon that I want to get buffed next season. The first Pokemon going to be Ledian. Of course, we cannot talk about all of the Pokemon that I want to get buffed, but Ledian is one of them. Definitely, Ledian has one of the best, like, in general, bulks in the game there. It has, like, 100 attack, pretty decent bulk, otherwise 2200 overall, which is very, very nice and bulky. And the thing with Ledian is that this Pokemon is actually kinda a fighter. It has, like, those punching thingies there around. It learns so many fighting type moves in the game. And as you can see here, I put some potential moves that it can learn. For example, the first is always the one that is like default right now. For the second one, Air Slash would be a new move, which would be interesting. For the second one, for the third one, we have the Acrobatics. For the fourth, we have Air Slash and the Dynamic Punch. And the fifth, we have the Drain Punch. And the last one is the one that, of course, everybody wants and would be the best, would be Counter, of course. Counter would be amazing for this Pokemon. As we can take a look how it would impact it, because people changed their website as well a little bit, and we can see now here, of course, the average, which is going to be also a nice indicator, but also below here what we pick up and what we don't pick up. For example, here we would lose for the counter version against Trevenant, but pick up matchups against the Wigglytuff, Lickitung as well, and the Diggersby, some very nice meta Pokemon. While, for example, the other one before with Dynamic Punch, we would actually beat the Sableye nowadays. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, like you can see here, the main thing that would really buff it would be Counter. It still wouldn't be completely overpowered. I think it's just the typing as well. The typing is pretty horrible. Being weak to Rock and Ice in this meta right now with G-Fisk and Warrain is a little bit tricky to deal with. So the typing is most likely the main issue. But still, like this thing with Counter would be fairly decent. And in general, my main theme here is not to try to create an overpowered Pokemon. Some of them are kind of borderline, to be honest, but just in general, take a look at Pokemon that can just learn other moves that would really benefit for it in Go Battle League. The second one here are actually two. We have the Miltank, we have the Dunsparce. Both of them would be able to learn Rollout in the main series games. This is a change that a lot of people would most likely expect in this video, as Rollout got introduced in Community Day, and this move would be amazing for Miltank, especially as it's a signature move. And Miltank has a very decent moveset otherwise with the Thunderbolt as well and Ice Beam, which are basically perfect coverage moves together. There's in general the Bolt Beam coverage is called in the main series games. It's just very good as yeah. It's just a very good coverage. There's next to nothing that can really resist both of the types. I think it's only really the Magnezone line that can resist both of the types, and I think as well, I don't know, I actually don't know anything else anymore, to be honest. But yeah, otherwise you would also run Body Slam most likely anyway, as Body Slam would be a stab. You see the stat product, it's less than the Ledian, for example, so it wouldn't be completely busted, but definitely would be way better. And then for the Dunsparce has a little bit, like, has crazy cool charge moves. Okay, give me back the Rock Slide here. Rock Slide and Drill Run, very good charge moves, and Rollout would just give it so much more potential with this. You see a stat product pretty similar to Miltank, and both of them gonna get way better if they would get the move. Actually, the Dunsparce seems to be better than the Miltank here. I don't think it would be actually the case in real life, but if Dunsparce would get it, definitely would be way better than before, and as well the Miltank just gonna get so much more, like you see how many matchups you gonna take here. Kinda insane. I think here it compares it to the ones above always, so like the Dunsparce here would gain more matchups that the Miltank wouldn't get, of course, but here you see the difference between the Miltank. You just get so many more matchups, it's insane. And also like the Dunsparce itself compared to the other Dunsparce. You actually would lose matchups against the Victory Bell, Shadow, Wishcast, and the Wigglytuff, which is interesting because I guess the Wishcast would be able to resist it, but Wigglytuff doesn't really make too much sense. I don't know what happened there, but okay, both the Wigglytuff, okay, both lose against Wigglytuff. I think it's always based on the top one. Okay, Yeah, compared to the first Pokemon. I see now. If I could read, that would help. Going to the next one. Next Pokemon going to be Dubwool, and Dubwool going to be borderline broken. This Pokemon itself currently is horrible. It has only okayish sets. Again, you see a little bit less overall bulk than the Miltank. Right now it has Tackle or Takedown, Body Slam, and a Wild Charge and Payback. Very good charge moves, horrible fast moves. But there is a fast move that it can learn that is very strong for it, which would be Counter. And might be a little bit too strong for it. Of course, like this, you still lose to every fighting type, you still lose to Medicham, for example, you still lose to most ghost types even, because all your moves are resisted here, for example, from a Trevenant, but also the Trevenant doesn't really do anything back to you. But you see here, it's kinda borderline, like it's very, very strong. There's still things that can beat and like beat it in general, but it's basically like this. A better version of Vigoroth. Like, it's just a better version of Vigoroth compared to it. It just has a better secondary charge move, it has a little bit more bulk to it, and otherwise the fast moves and the charge move with Body Slam are pretty much the same, and also the normal type is the same, so if you compare to Vigoroth, it's kinda stronger, but yeah, it would be just an upgrade to Vigoroth, and I don't know if we actually really want this in the game. But this would be a cool update, because like Dubwool right now is like so bad, sadly. Maybe we get like a counter nerf, and therefore Buzzwole, not Buzzwole, the Dubwool gets the counter. That would be cool. Next up, we're going to get the Lantern. Lantern is also something that's like kind of always floating around a little bit. Here's the issue. There are two kind of major weaknesses for the Lantern. First, the fast move, which is Spark. It's not the craziest weakness, to be honest. Spark is okay-ish. But the Volt Switch is just better, and it learns Volt Switch, so why not give it a Volt Switch? And then the charge moves, Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt, both just need so much energy. That's a little bit tricky, so if it would get Surf, it would be better. If we get any update here of those two, I hope they don't come together, because then it would be borderline broken again. Here we just have them like separate, and we can see already it would be basically around the Dubwool already if you get it Surf. I think that if you could just give it Volt Switch, it would make it kind of fair. But even then, it's a little bit tricky. Actually interesting that you lose some matchups compared to the normal Lantern if you have Volt Switch instead against the Bastion and the Optigoon. That's very interesting. I didn't know this, and I also don't think that's actually really that accurate. But hey. But yeah, this would be a cool update in general. I hope it's a Volt Switch. Maybe Surf would be also cool, but this is a Pokemon that would be really cool in the current meta, as it would kind of break away the Walrein as well, which would be nice. But yeah, we will see. Next Pokemon, we're going to have a Linoone and a Linoone. Both of the versions here, we have the Galarian and the normal version, as both of them have kind of something that they kind of want from each other. And the normal Linoone really wants to have Body Slam, because it would be a cool stab move together with the Shadow Claw, would be very nice. Then it still has good coverage moves like Thunder or Grass, not depending on what you want to hit. And the other Linoone kind of wants the Shadow Claw from the normal Linoone version. So if we would just take this into consideration, we would see here that especially the normal Linoone would be meta at least. Like, it wouldn't be completely broken, but it definitely would be meta if it has Shadow Claw, Body Slam, and the Grass Knot. While the Galarian Linoone would win 5 more matchups, which would be very cool. As we can see here, that the normal Linoone already wins then a lot more matchups. Basically, you don't win against the Pelipper, the Skarmory anymore, which means only because we have the Thunder Knot on us equipped, which we could also still equip, but yeah, it really depends. And the other ones are also pretty decent. You see here the Linoone wins a little bit more matchups than the Linoone above. So yeah, would be a cool upgrade, but I don't think we're gonna see it, sadly, because it's like those. I mean, the normal Linoone is the fully evolved version, but the middle versions usually don't really get a move update, which would be for the Galarian Linoone. So it's kind of tricky. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Shaman Sky here. Shaman Sky, oh, we have Shaman Land here actually. Shaman Sky is a very cool Pokemon that sadly doesn't really get the love right now. And the thing for this is, which really makes it bad, is that the Shaman Sky is basically having that same moveset it had since they basically put him into the code of the game, and that was like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. So basically you always didn't really have the right moveset for it. It still had like completely horrible moves, basically only grass type moves and horrible fast moves, but it would be able to learn Bullet, Seed and not Earthquake, Earth Power, which would be very cool for it, because this would allow it to beat some stuff like some steel types. And we can take a look here, it would also learn Magical Leaf. And if we can take a look at this, we see here, for example, we would gain an increase of 11 wins compared to the normal version here. Still wouldn't make it completely meta, but would make it way better. And you see here the matchups that you would win if you would get the Bullet, Seed and the Earth Power on it, which would be definitely an update that I really would appreciate, because it doesn't make it broken, it just makes it a little bit better. Next up, we're gonna get to the Sigilii. The Sigilii is a weird case here because it can get kind of borderline broken again. The thing is here, people want Shadow Claw, I want Shadow Claw, people want Leaf Blade, I want Leaf Blade. But if you get it together, as you can see here on the bottom one, you're going to see here that it is most likely the best Pokemon then in the meta with 610 rating. It wouldn't be as strong as it says here because it's pretty squishy, but it would be a very big meta threat. So I really wish that we get the Shadow Claw but not the Leaf Blade, because then we're gonna get a community day somewhere later on and we can get Frenzy Plant, which isn't as good as Leaf Blade because you need way more energy. So it would basically balance everything out and would make it pretty fair, but I think the Shadow Claw would be a good update for the Sigilii. Next up, Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele was a Pokemon that I was really hoping for when it first got basically announced, and I was hoping for a Charm because it would actually make a really good Charm user finally for the Master League with higher CP. And we got Confusion and we also got Astonish. Thanks for this, Charm would make it definitely better, just slightly, still doesn't make it completely broken. Actually loses one more matchup, but makes like everything way closer, which is just the thing that I kind of would want to see at least. Especially Charm plus Psyshock might be a very cool combination. So yeah, would have been cool in my opinion. Think that would be a good upgrade. You win against the Root and Zekrom with this, but lose against some other stuff. But in general makes it like a little bit more safer to play. And the second to last one is actually the one that I find the weirdest that we didn't get an upgrade for this one. We have Nihilego here. Nihilego has Acid right now. Acid and Pound. It would learn Poison Jab in the main series games. Why do you not give it Poison Jab? This doesn't really make it too strong either. As you're going to see here, like you're going to be able to win 5 more matchups in general, have like such a higher average. And here you see the matchups as well. But the thing with this is, you're still going to get hard-walled by every ground type and you're still going to get hard-walled by every steel type. This Pokemon still will be very difficult to play around. It has amazing stats and it has a pretty decent move pool, but it still has a horrible, what's called horrible typing. So it still wouldn't be too good. Like if you think about it, Excadrill still hard-walls you, Garchomp still hard-walls you, Dialga still hard-walls you. So it wouldn't be too strong, but it would finally give you kind of an answer for the nuisance of the Zacian. So kind of sad that you didn't get a Poison Jab yet, but hopefully an update. And for the final one, we're going to take a look here, going to be Torkoal. Torkoal is actually the one and the only Pokemon really which is fire type and has a really decent like stats here. You see 2116. That's really decent, as we have Fire Spin as a fast move normally, Overheat and Earthquake, and it's just too much energy that's needed here. So if we would get the Weather Ball, which is actually pretty likely that we get a Weather Ball, because the thing with this is like Weather Ball usually gets given to Pokemon that are based on like weather or like have some kind of weather effect thingy. For example, the what's called Pelipper has the Weather Ball Water, and this is because it has Drizzle as an ability in the main series games, while the Torkoal has Drought as an ability in the main series games, which basically summons Sun, which is the opposite part of Drizzle. So I actually don't know why we didn't get the Weather Ball Fire for Torkoal yet, especially as it got released now everywhere with the Go Fest. I don't know why we still don't have this. I really hope that we get a good Torkoal, because I really want to use it. And even if you don't get Incinerate, just Fire Spin already looks good here. But Incinerate would make it, of course, a little bit better. Of course, both it learns. And we will see here, like, it just would get so much more potential with it. I really hope that we get the Torkoal. Is actually the main Pokemon that I really would like to see, because it would make a Fire type way better in this meta. And I think Fire and Ground coverage is really good here as well. So that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.